and welcome to Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. My name is Teresa. I would like to welcome you each into our kitchen where I am doing a requested video for making my cornbread dressing. Now, before people go into shock, I make big batches. It should not be anything new. Most of the older owls who have been part of the channel for a long time know I do large batches. Now, I know it's just me and Junior. Somebody might pop up on Thanksgiving. Who knows? But I'm going to fill one, 9 by 13 casserole pan full of the finished dressing, and everything else gets baggied up and put in the freezer. Yes, in the freezer. Now, if you want to follow this big batch, you can, and get little, if you're a single person or it's just a two-person household, you can make a big batch of the dressing, y'all. Put it in little tiny loaf pans, buck and a quarter tree, or is it buck and a 50 tree now? I don't know. I haven't been in a while. The little aluminum, whatever, those little disposable loaf pans. You can pack your dressing in those, wrap them real good, and freeze them. And when you're ready to use it, pull it out, let it thaw a little bit, and it's already fully cooked. All you have to do is heat it up. Now, like I said, I'm making a triple batch. I am going to try my best to measure for y'all. I do not measure. I watch by eye and by taste when I make my cornbread dressing, and it's loaded cornbread dressing because me and Junior are vegetable-aholics. Now, we're also carnivores, so don't worry about that part. Now, there's going to be a different twist to this because usually I don't make this. Well, I get everything prepped and everything, but I don't mix it together till the day before Thanksgiving or the day of Thanksgiving, because I usually take the juices from the roasting pan or roasting pans to put in the cornbread dressing. I only have one turkey, unfortunately, this year. I'm used to cooking 2 to 3, sometimes up to 5. So I'm going to be I'm so thankful we grabbed them. I have 2 quart jars of turkey bone stock that I made myself, but I'm going to start out with 1 quart jar for now. So I'm going to try to measure for y'all. Now, I will have the single batch cornbread recipe in the description box below the video if you just want to make a small batch of cornbread dressing. Now, it is best, of course, and I told everybody in live stream, make your cornbread a day to 2 days before you're going to make your dressing. You want your cornbread to be a little stale. It mixes better, but hey, things happen. Sometimes you can't. You roll with what you got. Now, in this video, I use a lot of vegetables. If you are allergic to anything, please leave it out. For the love of God, don't put nothing in it that you're allergic to. And I know there's veggie haters out there. If you don't like something, just leave it out, or you really need to learn how to like it and eat it. It's good for you. It's good for your immune system. Now, I don't make big fancy batches of dressing like this all the time. Holiday times, yes, and I do splurge. But thankfully, I was able to catch a lot of things on clearance. So, let's roll, have some fun. Now, just remember, This is a large batch of dressing. I made a 8x8 square pan of cornbread and a 13x9 pan. But that will come into play once I get everything cooked and sauteed in the pan. So, with that being said, let's have some fun. Now, I cheated this time. Now, in this big saucepan, I have 3 sticks of butter because I'm doing a triple batch of dressing. If you're doing a single batch, 1 stick of butter is plenty. Now, I cheated. Now let me get back to the cheating part. I use my chopper to do the carrots. Usually I sit there and hand slice the carrots into little round coins. Not this time. So I'm going to try to measure everything for you. So I'll tell you now. Take notes. The only recipe that's going to be in the description box below the video is the cornbread. And I will put the list of ingredients in the list of vegetables in there. And another thing before we get going too good. Make sure you have a Ziploc baggie beside where you're prepping everything. Put your carrot ends, your celery ends, your onion ends, everything that's in good shape into the bag. Once you're done chopping and everything, close that bag up, put it in your freezer. Each time you cut up vegetables and the ends and stuff are still good, keep adding it to that bag. This will be going to make what I don't do bone broth, I do bone stock. And there'll be a video coming up making venison bone stock, and that's why I'm starting a bag. Okay, so far we have, let me put some of that back. There's 2 cups of carrots. Now, I start out with the carrots first because those jokers anymore take forever to get done. And I start with them first. Alright, be right back. I had to go get my spatula. Alright, we got 2 cups of carrots so far. Now, cut your carrots the size that you enjoy. I know some people have texture issues. So, now, all the vegetables I'm going to cook until they're almost done. I want them to have some life left in them. I don't want them mushy or anything like that. And don't waste anything. Get it all out of there if you can. Like I always say, waste not, want not. Okay, I'm going to set that aside because I'm not using that again. I just wanted to cheat on the carrots. Alright, we're going to say that's 3 cups of carrots. Basically, 1 cup of carrot per batch of cornbread. Oh man, I knew it was something else. Hold on. Okay, I had to go get my lid for my pan. Now, on the butter, you do not want your butter to brown. The butter is for the seasoning. Beautiful quart jar of turkey bone stock. Oh man. Oh, that smells good. I'm going to start out with about half of that quart jar. And I know the rest of it will be going in later on. Now, I'm going to tell you, it's going to take a while for these carrots to cook. But it doesn't mean that I can't keep prepping everything else. And yes, we like celery. And yes, wash your celery. Wash your carrots. And I use the celery leaves as well. You want your celery smaller? Cut that stuff up smaller. You want it bigger? Cut it bigger. But to me, celery is a very important part of making good homemade dressing. Now, what I'm making, nope. What I'm making is dressing. It is not stuffing. There is a difference. I don't really do stuffing because I don't want my dressing soaking up the blood that's in the cavity of the bird. Because yes, the blood will cook out or cook, but I like to make sure that the dressing doesn't get basically what I call contaminated. Split the ends of the celery until it gets up to the part where it's fine to cut single cuts of it. And I'm going to continue to cut my celery. Like I said, I'm going to try to measure everything for y'all so you know. Because, like I said, I'm old school. I eyeball measure. And it's going to be a while for these carrots to cook. I tell you, I don't know what it is about them anymore. The homegrown carrots are not that way. But these store-bought carrots sure are. And I've noticed potatoes the same way as well. I've had some potatoes where I just about gave up on them. So, I know they're always messing with the food. Hold on just a minute. Okay, make it easy on myself. If I can aim better. Okay, I'm probably going to aim for 3 cups of small cut celery. I'm almost at 2 cups. I'm going to get this done. I'll bring you back here in just a little bit. Okay, you want to cook the carrots until they just start to get a little bit tender, because they're going to keep cooking as you add to the pan. Now, in here, I measured out 3 cups of chopped celery. Y'all lucky I'm measuring. Never measured. I hope you're taking notes. And also, I want to say, please use the celery leaves as well. They have amazing flavor also. I'm going to put the lid back on. Now, on the onions, or as one of my favorite cooks, onion. I have a large, I finally got a hold of a large onion, y'all. It's a miracle. And this is what I consider a small. Some people will consider it a medium. Now, once I get them put in there, it might be another one cut up. Don't know yet. Put your ends of your onions in your scrap bag. God, that's a tough onion. And no, don't you dare say my knife is dull. It is not dull. I do not let my knives be dull. This is just an onion that's been in storage for a good while, apparently. Now, cut your onion the size that you like. I like mine a little bit bigger because I like to know that I'm eating veggies. I'm too old to hide the veggies in my food. And I don't have to do that crap no more because me and Junior eat vegetables. Uh-oh. We had an escapee. Uh-oh. Get back in there. And the worst thing you can do is allow your children to be picky. Make sure they know that vegetables are good for them. Alright, be right back. I'm going to move my lid. Alright, it's just going to be easier for me just to keep the lid off and just add my vegetables. And that was the large onion. Oh, I wish y'all could smell this. It's starting to smell like the holidays now. Man, cut that a little too big. That's okay. It'll go good in the. Yep, I'm gonna cut up another onion. Let me go over here to the grocery store and get a. There we go. There's a small, well, medium onion. of these have been in storage for a while. When an onion's really, really strong, and if you notice, it'll have a white, milky juice. That means the onions have been in storage for a while. And they're slip sliding around. And anytime you add to the pot, you stir it. Oh, I wish y'all could smell this. Oh my gracious. Get in there. Everything trying to escape. Now, I usually go heavy. Alright. Man, these skins on these onions have been something else. I don't know where these onions come from, but they are good and protected. I'm talking about hard to get through skin no matter how sharp your knife is. So I know my knife here is not dull. Man. And I usually peel that green outer layer off the onion because a lot of times it does not like to cook down. And this will be the trifecta of onion. Large, medium, and small. Now you don't have to put as much onion as I put in mine. We like onion. We like garlic too. But I'm trying to save my garlic to plant, so I will be using garlic powder. Okay, that's all the garlic. I done got garlic on mine. All of the onion. Oh my God, y'all, that smells so good. And I can tell I'm going to go on and put the rest of that turkey bone stock in there. I wish y'all could smell that. Alright, be right back. Gotta get the next ingredient. Next ingredient is, yes, mushrooms. I have portobello caps. I usually use sliced baby bellas or sliced white button mushrooms. But I couldn't pass it up for $2.72, which was way cheaper. And these looked a whole lot better than the other ones they had. So, I'm just going to slice it up. And then I'm going to dice them into smaller pieces. Because, yeah, we like mushrooms. And I fully embrace my inner hobbit. And of course, if you don't like them, you can leave them out. And especially if you're allergic, leave them out. And of course, they're going to shrink up when they cook. So I cut them a little chunkier. Do not worry when you add these to the skillet. They're going to absorb a lot of the butter and the bone stock. But as they cook down, they're going to go back and release it all. So don't add no extra in it. And this is the last vegetable I'll be adding. From here on, it'll be seasonings. And there's a good chance I might add some more. If I don't, then, well, then Junior's going to have some stuffed portobello caps. And you see the cutting board? That's why I always wait and let mushrooms be the last to cut up. Oh my God, this smells amazing. There's not even any seasoning in it. Well, the bone stock does have a little bit of seasoning, not a whole lot. And I also know for a fact that that bone stock has chaga mushroom powder in it too. Yes, you can with chaga mushroom powder. I'm going to add one more of the portobellos. The stem goes into the bag of goodies. Oh, celery leaf. This is an odd shaped one. I just love mushrooms and dressing. And like I said, when you make this, it's your dressing. You use the amount of vegetables you want to. Or if you just cannot stand something, you can leave it out. I prefer if you leave anything out, it's because you're allergic to it. Now, of course, if you're a mushroom hunter and you happen to come across some oyster mushrooms, you can add that too. You can add them as well. If you got morel mushrooms froze back, you can add that. Oh, let me tell you, morels and cornbread dressing is amazing. Okay, I got a few more seasonings I need to grab. I'm going to get this cleaned up and I'll bring y'all right back. Okay, I'm going to add some of my seasonings. When I mix the dressings together, I'll check for seasoning and add more if need be. 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of black pepper. And of course, when you add something, stir it. Oh, I wish I had smell-o-vision, y'all. There's 2 teaspoons of black pepper so far. This is dried parsley. 1, 2, 3 tablespoons. Good for digestion, good for health, good for your blood, many things. Like I always said, let your food be your medicine. Now, garlic powder. I have garlic powder in the cornbread. I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of garlic powder in here, and then, of course, I will taste the dressing after I mix it all together. And if it needs more, there'll be more added. Now remember, garlic is medicinal. Not only ungodly delicious, it's medicinal as well. And yep, busting out to slap your mama. Not going to use a lot, just enough to give it just a small hint. That's a tablespoon. That's basically all I should need. We'll find out when I taste it. Now, rubbed sage. You can use regular sage, but to me, rubbed sage tastes so much better. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of rubbed sage in the skillet, in the pot. I'm not going to add any more until I get my dressing mixed together. Once I get it finalized on mixing, I will taste it. I like a hint of sage in my dressing. I don't want to choke to death on sage, but I do want to know that it's in that dressing. One tablespoon. Doing a pinch because that second tablespoon was a little light. So it's 2 tablespoons of rub sage for now. I'm going to tell you, there's a pretty good chance I might be opening that second quart of bone stock. I'll see. I want to let this cook. I want to let the vegetables be cooked, because the thing about my dressing, when you get the vegetables cooked and you mix it in with the cornbread, the dressing's cooked. All I do is I usually, mix it all together. I have all the vegetables already pre-cooked a day or two in advance. Already have the cornbread cooked. I just mix it together with some of the turkey juices from the roasters. Now, when I get done mixing the two together, it's fully cooked. I don't add no eggs, no raw eggs, nothing like that in my dressing. You don't need to. Now, if you do, that's fine. That's not how I was taught to make it. And basically, I mix it all together. First thing, like I said, have everything prepped, ready to roll. I mix it all up Thanksgiving morning, put it in a pan, bake it in the oven until it's heated, and there's a light golden crust on top. So I'm going to let these vegetables get cooked, and then we're going to start working on the breaking up the cornbread. I'll be right back, y'all. Okay, the veggies are ready to go. This is what a single size batch of the cornbread will make. And of course, it'll be some extra once you add whatever vegetables you use and the butter and the stock. It's going to grow a little bit more, so you can always freeze what's left over. And what I'll be doing is, when I get done with this, I'll be putting it back in the big casserole dish. You want to break your cornbread up into small pieces. You don't want any giant pieces of cornbread, but you don't want it to be powder fine. You want to have a little bit of structure. Now, I did season my cornbread before I baked it. It's got some minced garlic in it. No, dried minced onion and garlic and a little black pepper. Because what you're doing is you're building layers of flavor. And of course, I'll have the single batch recipe for the cornbread in the description box below. Oh, it smells so good in here, y'all. Between the crumbling of the cornbread, those amazing vegetables, the seasonings, the herbs. This is why I make the dressing. And Junior's already ready for his bowl of dressing, because like I tell y'all, it's already fully cooked. You can straight out eat it like it is. I just like putting it in the pan, letting all the flavors have time to mingle, and then heating it in the oven and let that top get just a little bit of crusty brown on it. And I have also been known to put French's fried onions in my dressing as well. Now, I will tell you, I know this is probably going to stick because this is the same pan I made the rolls in, and there was no need to wash this pan. Now, I will tell you, it just needed a little nudge. I will tell you, this is going to be the casserole pan that I put our cornbread dressing in for us to eat on Thanksgiving Day. I'm not going to wash this pan. There's no need to. It was only cornbread crumbs in here. You don't have to. Save yourself some time. Nothing's going to go bad. Nothing's going to go wrong. But if you just got to wash it, go ahead. But you don't have to, because the moisture of the cornbread dressing is going to suck all this beauty up. Oh, it smells so good, y'all. And like I said, this is the pan, the casserole dish I'll be using to put the dressing back in. Now, this pan holds a double batch of my single batch cornbread recipe. So, if you're going to do a double batch of the dressing, this is the kind of pan. You're going to want a 13 by 9 pan. Alright, I'm going to break that cornbread up, bring y'all right back. If I can get it to stop. And of course, before you bring your cornbread out of the oven, using a knife or a butter knife, something, make sure that cornbread is completely done. Alright, now you got to be careful. And you want if you're making a big batch like this, you need a big bowl and a very good sturdy spoon. Be very careful. Okay, I'm going to put my pan to the side in case I have to heat up the rest, that other jar of bone stock. Because you do not want your cornbread dressing to be soppy, soaking wet. You do not want that. You do want it to be moist. There's a big, big difference. Oh my God, y'all, this smells so good. Look at that. All them beautiful vegetables in there. Let your food be your medicine. Yes, it's got butter in it, but guess what? Butter is good for you. Please don't use margarine. All the vegetables were still fresh, so they have their life force still in them. Now, if you have to use frozen vegetables, that's fine. You could use a bag if you're making a single batch, or 2 big bags of mixed vegetables, frozen mixed vegetables. Don't use canned because it won't hold up. Oh, look at that. Now that's what you want to see. You want to see moist and not dry. Because nothing's worse than dry dressing. Now be careful. Get your spoon, because you're going to have to taste it. You've got to make sure that it's seasoned. Because once it goes in the pan, you're not seasoning it anymore. Mmm. I want some more garlic powder. Now, from here on, you season it the way you like it. Do not go overboard, but make sure it tastes good. Every time you add something, stir that baby. You want to make sure that you get it all in there. You see how that's all good and moist? That's what you want to see. I want a little bit more of Slap Your Mama. Not a whole lot, but enough. Yeah. It desperately needs some rubbed sage. Now, for my likes, there's not enough salt. But I'm not adding any more salt to it because I use salted butter. I know my bone stock had salt in it. I can salt mine when we go to eat. I have to be careful with Junior. And yep, I'm adding the sage because guess what? I couldn't taste it. But you got to be careful. Sage can creep up on you fast when you add it to dressing. And if you add too much, there's no bringing it back, y'all. But I don't care. I'm still going to eat it because I love sage. And that dressing is not dry. It's good and moist. And that's what you want to see. And of course, things are going to, as it gets to set and marinate and marry, all the flavors get to mingle. You'll start tasting more of something than you did before. Got a hint of the slap your mama, not much. Just enough to go, hey, how you doing? I can smell the sage, but I'm not tasting it. I'm going to leave it alone. Because I know sage can get stronger as it sets. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, Junior's waiting on his bowl of dressing. Oh, this smells so good, y'all. He's been watching me like a hawk. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, Junior's took care of. Now, like I said, I'm not cleaning the pan out. That's not how I do it. The pan I make the cornbread in, the dressing goes back in it. There's no need to, but if you want to wash it, go ahead. And I'm just going to add this amazing dressing into the pan. It is plenty moist enough. Up. Of course, I'm going to have me a bowl of dressing here in a bit. I'm going to pop open me a jar of my cranberry sauce as well. Oh, you betcha I am. Beautiful carrots, mushrooms, onions, celery, peeping all out. Now, since it's not going to bubble over or anything, you can fill your pan all the way up to the rim. Don't overfill it. And as you can see, I got plenty more, which is fine with me. It's called freezer baggies. And that way, when me and Junior want some more dressing on down the road, we got it. Or I can pull it out for Christmas and I won't have to make any more. I'm not too sure it's going to last that long. And so you just mush it in there. Because you want no air pockets. Because I've seen people get all nine kinds of upset if they spoon in. I didn't do it. But I've seen other people spoon into some dressing and there's a big pocket there. So they don't get as much as they thought they was going to get. People weird, y'all. People weird. Now, the reason I said don't mound it, because if you mound it, you'll get crunchy peaks. And you want to try to get an even golden, light golden brown surface on top of it. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. I just want to make sure that it's even. And it's not going to stick because believe me, there's enough butter in this. It's not going to stick. Alright, all of this, I'm fixing to make me a bowl. And then I'm going to baggie it up. And for me and Junior, I'm going to put quart bags up. Uh-oh, escapee. Mmm, mmm. Alright, hold on just a minute. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to aluminum foil this pan very good because it's not time for me to bake the or reheat the dressing. I'll do that Thanksgiving morning. This can go in the fridge. Now, if you're traveling somewhere else, you can use those disposable aluminum pans as well. Like I said, I'm going to cover it with aluminum foil. Early Thanksgiving morning, I'll take it out of the fridge because you're going to want to set it on the counter so your pan, especially if you're using Pyrex or your glass, you need to let it warm up just a little bit because if you cannot take your glass baking dish from the fridge straight into the oven because you're going to bust your pan and you'll have to throw your dressing away because you can't take no chances it'll have glass shards in it. But bring it out of the refrigerator, set it on the counter till uh the pan, the dish, Lord, I can't talk, I need more coffee, until the dish is not as cold. Now, keep the aluminum foil on top of it. You're reheating basically. And you reheat it 350 degrees until it's to room temperature, not room temperature, oven temperature, and then you take the aluminum foil off and let it get a very light brown crispy crust on top. Don't let it go too far because then it's going to be a rock on top. Simple, easy, homemade, y'all. You don't have to make the big batch that I have. You can make small batch. I'll have the single batch for the cornbread in the description box below. List of everything I put into this dressing, and you take it from there. See how much vegetables of each one you want. Hopefully a little bit of all of them, because I'm telling you, it makes a difference. Life's too short to eat plain Jane food. Season it up. Season it up, y'all. Because, like my motto also, I plan on leaving this world fully seasoned. And yes, I am a foodie. I like my food. And I'm fixing to get these bagged up, get them in the freezer. Simple, easy, homemade, from scratch. You know exactly what's going in it and the amounts. Play with the seasonings. Test them. Test when you get towards the end, like I did. Taste it. Adjust your seasonings. Don't go too wild with the sage because the sage can creep up and get you. But I like sage and dressing. I like sage and sausage. It's good. Let your food be your medicine. Feed your body well, and it will love you, and your immune system and your gut biome will be healthy as can be. I hope this encourages you to make your own homemade cornbread dressing. It's easy, y'all. Believe in yourself. You can do it. If you have questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment section below this video. I will help and answer as soon as I can, y'all. Gotta remember, Junior comes first, and I'm juggling a lot right now. Continue to stock your pantry with foods that will sustain and nourish you. Medicinals that will heal you, protection of all kinds, and above all else, the bare essentials to survive on. Everyone, take care, stay safe and sound, have a blessed Thanksgiving, and remember, every day is Thanksgiving, not one day a year. Love y'all. I'll see you soon. Mwah. Hoot, hoot. And may you each be blessed.